The first recorded Viking raid in Irish history occurred in AD 795, when Vikings, possibly from Norway, looted the island of Lambay. This was followed by a raid on the coast of Brega in 798, and the raids on the coast of Connacht in 807. These early Viking raids were generally small in scale, but quick and ferocious. The first raids were on the unprotected monastic sites on the fringes of the island, where the monks had gone to be closer to God. But it wasn't long before the Vikings were beginning to establish fortified encampments, long ports, along the Irish coast, and overwintering in Ireland instead of retreating to Scandinavia or the Scottish Isle bases, establishing places such as Limerick and Dublin. Today, we will look at which families descend from these Viking raiders and Norse settlers. First, please follow my Facebook page, or if you wish to know more on Irish history, please subscribe to the other channel I am on called Irish Medieval History. Also, please make sure to check out the merch store and Patreon links below. All support is greatly appreciated. The Norse arrived in Ireland, Scotland and England well before the full implementation of surnames through all ranks of society, although the nobility would be in the process of using surnames depending on which country you were in. This meant many Norse families would have gained a surname generations after settling in a specific area. In the case of Ireland, when the Norse settlers had arrived, they began to intermingle with the native Irish, becoming somewhat Gaelicised themselves, becoming what is termed today as Hiberno-Norse, or back then as the Gaul Gael. With this intermingling of cultures, we would see them sharing ideas or building ties with their common customs such as trade, marriage and adoption. These families would establish clans in Ireland, intermarrying within the most powerful clans such as the Nail and the O'Nocta. They would follow Brehon law and fight in terrible blood feuds, and cattle raid their neighbours to gain dominance, all the while forming powerful factions and gangs in the cities of Dublin and Limerick, or assassinating rival Norse or Irish leaders, building ships to join armies in Scotland and England, and to trade in furs and slaves even further. After Brian Boru had conquered the entire island of Ireland in 1013, one of the changes he sought to implement in Irish society was standardised surnames and the elimination of patronymic surnames. This was never fully realised, as the northern part of the Kingdom of Leinster rebelled against Brian's rule, along with their allies the Hiberno-Norse of Dublin, culminating in the famous Battle of Clontarf, where Brian's forces would crush the Leinster-Dublin army, but at great cost. Although this battle claims to have kicked the Vikings out of Ireland, these families have been in these areas, in some cases nearly 200 years, and were well established, having integrated into the Gaelic Irish society. As the surnames became more common, we would see Norse families adopt Gaelic Irish influenced names, and even sometimes Gaelic Irish families adopting Norse influenced surnames. We also see traditionally Gaelic Irish families with a Norse branch. There are many reasons why the name may have a Norse branch, other than a non-paternal event, such as honouring a foster parent or taking the name of the local clan. We see that adopting surnames of Gaelic origin was not only prevalent in Norse families, but also Gaelic Irish families would adopt Norse names too, with names such as the McAuliffes, meaning son of Olaf. This family is descended from the O'Nocta McCarthys. It would seem unlikely that they are of Norse descent, and this is shown in DNA studies, so the name was adopted by the family. Munster's leading noble families, much like their countrymen in the north, such as the Nail, are known to have fostered out their children to Norse nobles, and vice versa. The McAuliffes may be descended from a child who is named in honour of such a fosterage, although this is conjecture on my part. In places like Dublin, which became the English administration's only real control of Ireland for most of the medieval period, and the Statutes of Kilkenny forcing many families in the area to adopt non-Gaelic names, may also be another reason why some Gaelic names have Norse branches, among other reasons. A reason why a traditionally associated Norse surname may have an Irish branch is because Gael in Irish means stranger or foreigner. This doesn't always mean the person is of a foreign culture group such as the English or Norse, but that they may just be a foreigner to the area and may still be of native Irish Gael stock. Such as the Gallagher's, a name meaning foreign help. Although this name could easily be assumed to be a Norse name, oral tradition and DNA studies have shown an Irish origin to the family. One translation of O'Halloran is stranger from beyond the sea. Genetic studies have shown that one branch is of Norse descent, but that another is of Irish descent, coming from Ulster before settling much further south. Of all the main culture groups to settle in Ireland during the last millennium, the Norse seem to have had the smallest genetic impact, but arguably still one of the biggest impacts to our history. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you wish to see more, please follow me on YouTube or Facebook, or to support the channel, please check out the Patreon or merch store. Thanks very much.